In the midnight glow where the stars align, we lose ourselves in the rhythm divine. Underneath the sky painted with dreams we're chasing.
Hi, welcome to episode 6. I'm Jody.
And I'm Mari.
And over the next couple episodes, we are going to take a little deeper dive into our astrology specialties.
Yeah, and this first episode, we're going to let Jody take over and tell us more about how she incorporates essential oils with her astrology practice, how the two mix and match and can benefit each other. And I'm excited to hear more about this subject myself.
Yes, and I'm excited to share. I have had a love for astrology for many years. I had an essential oil business for over 13 years. I love natural health and essential oils. So I took the two things that I was very passionate about, which are essential oils and astrology, and I decided to merge those together because I knew the power of essential oils, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And of course, astrology has all those layers. So you can use essential oils to help support many things in astrology. It can support us through her moon phases, can get support through the elements using oils, each zodiac sign. So that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. Astrology is energy and essential oils are energy, and they help support each other. So when you look at your birth chart, we see that blueprint and that map that helps us along the way as we grow, and it gives us a little bit of a snapshot of what might be coming up. And essential oils can be used to help support our emotions. They can be used to help us with our drive, help open up intuition, help us express ourselves. Essential oils are the lifeblood of a plant, so our body knows what to do with them. They have their own frequency. They're great for our immune system. They're great for our nervous system, our limbic system, and of course, our energy field. They can quickly help us shift our mood. They can help us anchor in. They can help us align our energies, help us ground and relax. Oils can support us through astrology transit, through the moon phases, which for some of us, we can really feel those. And having that extra support is a great tool to have in your toolbox. I know lots of people ask right away, how can you use them? So I'm going to cover that first. So how to use essential oils. Diffusing is one of the easiest ways. So if you get a diffuser, there's ones that have water, which is usually the ones that you find, and those are the best. You put a little bit of water in there, you add in 3 to 5 drops of essential oil, and that's going to help get those oils into the air, and you can breathe them in aromatically. It's going to shift the energy of your space. And that's the one of the easiest ways to use them is by diffusing. If you don't have a diffuser, you can just grab a bottle of oil, put a drop on your hands, rub your hands together, inhale, and get aromatic benefits that way. Another great way to use these oils to support you would be to make a roller ball. So you can get these empty roller bottles, put in, a total of, I would say, 10 drops of essential oil, and then add in fractionated coconut oil, which is a carrier oil. And that just kind of helps it absorb on your skin. It helps take away any possibility of sensitivity because some of the oils can be warmer. Just apply it to your pulse points, your neck, your chest, bottom of your feet, wherever. Just get it on the body.
So that the carrier oil then dilutes some of the stronger oils so that it's safe to apply topically?
Yes.
Perfect.
So some of the oils that we'll be talking about coming up here, maybe a warmer oil like a cinnamon. Cinnamon is a lovely oil, but it can be a little bit warm. So you just want to be aware of that. And using that carrier oil is going to help dilute it and make it more gentle on our skin.
I was curious for you, what has been the most effective or the thing that you have noticed the strongest difference in when you've used oils? Is it aromatically, topically, or ingesting? I know, especially with doTERRA, there are a lot of ingestibles. What's kind of like the biggest impact that you felt?
I get a lot of support from topical and aromatic. I'm kind of more of a topical person. I think I like to get it on my body. There's many oils that are comforting to me. So then just smelling them and having them applied. So then I get that aromatic benefit for a while, no matter where I go. If you're diffusing, then you want to stick around to that area. So if you're going to be walking around, or if you're going to be going to an event or teaching or something like that, then applying it to the body is going to benefit you longer. And again, internally is great, and it really depends on your essential oils and your quality. So that's important to know. doTERRA is the oils that I use. So I do also take some internally. Not everything can be taken internally. And some people are a little bit unsure. So I always say, okay, then just get it on the body, apply it. Then you're going to get benefits, but you don't have to worry like, oh, can I take this or can I take this? It just makes it super easy. But sometimes applying it is overwhelming for people also. So I would say a diffuser. And you can get diffusers everywhere now. You can get them on Amazon. I see them at Walmart. A few other stores are carrying essential oil diffusers now. That's a great way to get the oils and start using them is through a diffuser.
I would guess you probably have a roller in your purse for every situation.
I would like to, but I tend to have my favorites. I go kind of in waves of what I like and what I want to use all the time. doTERRA has a blend called Serenity and a blend called Balance. And mixing those two together, I put 10 drops of each in a 10 ml roller bottle with fractionated coconut oil, and that is just like my chillaxing blend. That's what I call it.
That sounds delightful.
Just smells wonderful. It's very calming, very grounding. It's something that I know as soon as I smell it that I just instantly start to relax. So that is definitely a favorite. That's been a long time favorite. Wild orange is another great oil for uplifting your mood, and many people love it. Like, who doesn't like wild orange, right? It's a citrusy, uplifting smell. Lots of people love wild orange, and that's a great essential oil to grab when you're feeling like you need that little bit of pick me up, that extra sunshine.
I can't help but feel joyful when I smell wild orange. There's just
Right.
something about it that
Yeah.
just instantly, yeah, it's a mood enhancer for sure.
Yes, it is.
I was thinking as you were talking about how in astrology we often say as above, so below. And it made so much sense when you were talking about the sort of reflection of essential oils and plants, right? Mama Gaia and all of the things that she grows, and then the energetics of the stars, right? That they really work well together and support each other with the energetics of astrology and then what the earth itself grows in support of us. It really does kind of reflect that as above, so below.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the best things to start with would be moon phases. The moon has 8 different phases, and then it also travels through all 12 of the zodiac signs. So you can go as surface level or as deep as you want with this. Each moon cycle can affect us differently, and you don't really realize it until you start tracking it. So the moon cycle lasts 29 and a half days, and it moves through 8 phases. So just to focus on the main ones, the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, and the waning moon. So for a new moon, that is, if you think of it as kind of like a cosmic breath, that is the inhale. That's the fresh start. That's time to plant the seeds and set the intentions. The waxing moon is the time to build. That's the momentum, growth as we move towards manifestation. And then we have the full moon, which is like the exhale, the culmination, the clarity. This is that emotional release time. That's why you hear about there's full moon and new moon rituals. I think you hear about full moons more than new moons.
I think it's just something about how obvious it is the moon is during that time. People just notice it's hanging in the sky, this great big full moon, and it reminds you, oh yeah, like look up, you know what I mean? So I feel like, and energetically, it's such a more emotional time typically, which is why we talk about new moons being a great time to plant your seeds. You have this clarity and this kind of fresh start energy. But I think the reason full moon gets as much attention is because it's big and it's bright and it's attention grabbing and you're feeling a lot during that time typically. So I think you're right. You definitely hear more about the full moon. It draws people. There's something about it that really draws people. I'm in love with the full moon every time she comes along. But I really take advantage of the new moon phase as well to plant seeds and find that clarity and meditate on what it is that I would like to call in and in association with the sign of the new moon that it is in. So,
yes, if we just look at the moon in itself and the moon phases and the moon cycles, so much is affected by that. The ocean tides are affected by that. As women, typically our cycle is affected by that. There's so many things that are affected by the moon cycles that you don't even think about at first. But when you really dive into it, you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of crazy. Okay, and then the waning moon is the rest time. So this is the time to reflect, a time to release and restore before the cycle begins again. And then it just repeats. You can work with the moon through its ebbs and flows, and essential oils can enhance that connection and help you with those rhythms. For the new moon, again, new moon is intention and sacred beginnings. So the oils that you would use for this would be frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood. And the reason why these oils are suggested for the new moon is for grounding. They're spiritual oils to help create clarity and set a sacred tone for those new beginnings that you're working on. A waxing moon is that momentum and that motivation. Oils you would want to pull in for this would be wild orange, that we already talked about, gave some great reasons why, peppermint, and lemon. They're energizing, they're mood lifting oils. They help build that energy and help us take action on our goals. And then for our full moon, this is the illumination and that emotional releasing. Oils to use during this time is lavender, geranium, and Roman chamomile. These are all soothing oils that help process those heightened emotions that can happen during that time, help us celebrate wins, and release what we're no longer aligned with. Then we have our waning moon, which is rest and reflection. Oils to help support through this would be cedarwood, vetiver, lang-ylang. They're all deeply grounding and calming oils to support our inward focus and our emotions. So I know you head up a new moon. Is it a new moon circle?
Actually, both. So I have a full moon group and a new moon group. The new moon group I am just starting, and I am part of a women's full moon group, which has been really lovely. Yeah. So I will journal and pull cards for both the new moon and the full moon every single month. On the new moon and the full moon specifically, it's just kind of a time to stop and reflect on what it is that you want and where you're headed and what your goals are, and to just realign with that, which I think, life gets so busy, we sort of end up flowing down the river and not really steering as much. Life is just kind of rolling on by unless you do take that time to stop and reflect and readjust. And so I think that the moon is such a great pattern to follow to keep that awareness and to stay grounded in the moment and reflect on that instead of just letting the tides take you.
So what do you journal? Do you ask questions, or what kind of little ritual do you do?
Yeah, some of all of the above. Typically, with my full moon group, we rotate who hosts. And so there's some sort of ceremony, and it totally depends on the host. Typically, it involves a guided meditation of some sort, some journaling, and then just discussion amongst us around the energy of that full moon, what sign it's in, where each of us are at the time. And then there's some sort of, something tangible, some sort of ritual, whether it be we've done cacao ceremony, tea ceremony, like I said, guided meditation, sound baths. We've even done like a mandala that we made out in the woods with flowers and things that we found. And we went to a park and found little found items and created a mandala and left it for whoever was to stumble upon it. But just fun things like that to honor each moon. And we kind of bring in, like, whether it be the strawberry moon or the buck moon or whatever, as well as the moon sign, which kind of makes it fun.
So an easy way to add in oils to that ritual, so you can diffuse during meditation or journaling, or again, if you have made up a blend that you like, you can roll it on your wrists, over your heart. Another fun tool to add in would be a moon bath. So you can take Epsom salt and add your oils to the Epsom salt. A little tip here is to let it sit in the Epsom salt for a little bit so that it can kind of absorb in there. So when you put it in your bath, it disperses better. And if you're a bath person, this is going to be wonderful.
That sounds amazing. I have not had that thought, but I'm going to definitely have to add that to my moon rituals.
Yes, and you can add other things too if you'd like. Lavender, any sort of dried flower. Dried lavender is what I typically put in mine, but something relaxing. And that Epsom salt also has magnesium, which is really great for us.
I was curious if you ever bring in a oil specific to the sign that the moon is in. You mentioned oils for the different phases, which I could literally smell as you were saying their names. And I was craving the smell of so many of those different oils as you were talking about them. But I know that there are oils that are associated with the signs. So do you sometimes take an oil that supports the moon phase and the moon sign?
Yeah, you could definitely blend those together. And I'll be covering some of the different suggested oils by sign. So let's say you're on a new moon and you're going to use frankincense. And we just had a Leo new moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Leo, great oils for Leo are going to be like wild orange. That would be a great one to put with frankincense and diffuse it or put it in Epsom salt for a bath. So definitely you can layer it. So the moon phase and then what moon sign it's in.
Yum.
Go from there. So yeah, there's lots of different ways to incorporate them. So the next thing I thought we would chat about would be the elements. So the four elements, we have fire, earth, air, and water. Each of those elements represent energy patterns and how we relate to the world. Working with oils to align those elements, we can bring harmony and support when we need it most. And also if we feel like we're lacking, this is a great way to pull in those different elements. Starting with fire signs, which would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now, fire signs are typically action driven, they're courageous. Their need would be focused direction and calming the flame because fire can kind of be, if you think of fire, it can be warm, it can be quick.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking to pull some of that focus direction and calm that flame, oils that you would want to pull in would be cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, clove. Now, these are all great oils. Again, cinnamon's a little bit warmer oil. Clove can be warm too. So this is why incorporating some sort of carrier oil is going to be helpful, just so you don't have to worry about that skin sensitivity. But all these oils are spicy, energizing activity oils. Also, those fire signs can benefit from grounding practices to help avoid burnout. Try diffusing any of these oils or making up a roller and using fractionated coconut oil.
And what exactly is fractionated? What is it?
So fractionated coconut oil is coconut oil that they take the fat out of so it stays liquid. So this is why it works really well in roller bottles with essential oils because it stays liquid. You can use the solid coconut oil and just put a little bit in your hand and then put a couple of drops in there and then it's going to melt with your body heat. And then you can apply that too. So that works well also. You could use almond oil, avocado oil, jojoba oil. So any of those work. Olive oil, if you're in a pinch, you can use olive oil. Vegetable oil. It's just those don't have as good of a shelf life, so they're not going to last as long. They'll get kind of that yucky, rancid oil smell, where fractionated coconut oil lasts much longer.
Yeah, and some of them carry a scent on their own.
Yeah.
Olive oil has a scent versus, being kind of a neutral carrier. I think coconut oil smells pretty neutral.
Right. Okay. So next we have Earth element, our Earth element, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The theme for them is stability, structure, grounding. What they could use some assistance on would be flexibility, emotional ease, and connection to the body. Oils that would support this would be patchouli, vetiver, cedarwood. So these are all root oils, and they really help the Earth signs feel steady and encourage releasing of perfectionism, which can come along with that, and control, applying it to the soles of their feet or even using it in a bath, just kind of to help keep that grounded stability. Next, we have air signs. So air is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So for air signs, they're always thinking. Their mind never shuts off. Communication is key for air elements. Communication, innovation. So where they could use some support is that mental clarity, presence, and grounding. Essential oils that would be great for this that I should actually grab right now. Eucalyptus, basil, and then spearmint. Spearmint is really one of my favorites. These oils that can help support the air element are going to promote clarity. They can help calm a busy mind, or if you have that constant narrative going in your brain like I do. It just kind of helps ground us, so bring back that balance and just help you breathe. Inhale. We forget to deep breathe. So again, applying the oils, inhaling directly from the bottle. If you're working on communication, applying to the throat is a great place to put it also before writing, before speaking, or reflecting on anything. And then water signs, which are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they are emotional, intuitive,
and empathetic.
So where they could use some support would be boundaries, emotional safety, spiritual support, and a few oils that are good for that would be lavender, rose, juniper berry, and black spruce. These oils are heart opening and protective. They're perfect for soothing any of those deep emotions and cleansing our energy, helping us with those boundaries. You can roll them over your heart or diffuse them while meditating or journaling. So if you feel like you're lacking an element, so typically if you're lacking fire, you don't feel like you have that drive. You don't feel like some other things that pull in the fire element are dancing, singing, having fun, being around fire. Those are the kinds of things that you can do to pull in the fire element, while you can also incorporate the oils that I just went through to pull in those elements. So if you're feeling like you need some support and getting motivated and pulling in that fire, you can use the cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, or clove. If you're feeling very scattered and not grounded, I would pull in the earth oils, which would be patchouli, vetiver, cedarwood. So if you think of grounding, like tree oils, they come from trees. Trees are very grounded and rooted. So those are going to be great oils to pull in. And if there's something else that you like, I would say use it. Because even if I didn't list it, if it helps you relax, then I would just say grab it and use it.
That actually was a question I was going to ask is, do you find that you are craving the scent of things that you need in the moment? Do you kind of have different cravings pop up that you think your body is sort of pointing you towards needing or wanting in that moment?
Yes, I would say definitely. And then from the other end also, where certain oils like patchouli, a lot of people will say, I don't like patchouli. I feel people love patchouli or they hate patchouli.
So true. I don't know why that one is so divisive, but it is. I'm a lover. I absolutely am obsessed with it. But I have heard many people say that they think it absolutely stinks and they can't handle it.
Right. And it has so many great benefits. And it wasn't one of my favorite oils, but I found that if I mixed wild orange, again, an oil that almost everybody loves, with patchouli, then I like it. So experiment and try some different oils. You can't really use the wrong oil. That's the good thing. Let's dive into the 12 zodiac signs. I'll talk about the core needs of each zodiac sign and which essential oil can help with those needs. First is Aries. Aries is I act. Aries may need help slowing down and staying cool under pressure. An oil to pull in would be peppermint. Peppermint is cooling. It helps clear the head. Black pepper is another one, and black pepper supports motivation. All right, moving on to Taurus. Taurus is I build. Taurus needs help letting go and staying emotionally flexible. Oils that will help support this would be geranium, because it helps them have emotional balance, and patchouli, which is comforting and grounding. So we have Gemini. Gemini is I think. They need support focusing and calming their busy mind. Oils for this would be basil, which is great for mental focus. Spearmint is great for clarity and communication. Next, we have Cancer. Cancer is I feel. Cancer needs emotional support and a sense of safety. Oils that help support this would be Roman chamomile with lavender, because it's calming and nurtures. Next, we have Leo, which is I shine. They could use support expressing from the heart and feeling joy. Oils that are great for Leo are wild orange, which is playful and confident, and cinnamon, which is warm and encourages that bold expression. Virgo is I analyze. So they need assistance relaxing their perfectionism and overthinking. Oils great for this are tea tree, because tea tree is very cleansing. Also cleanses judgment. So fennel releases self-judgment and supports digestion, which is one of the areas in medical astrology that Virgos need support. And Libra is I balance. They could use assistance with decision-making and self-worth. Oils to help support them would be rose for self-love and connection, and bergamot for uplifting and balancing. Scorpio is I transform, and they could use support for emotional protection and energetic cleansing. Oils for this would be myrrh. Myrrh is great for deep healing and stillness. Juniper berry clears emotional clutter. Next, we have Sagittarius, which is I explore. They could use support on grounding while chasing their dreams. Black spruce is a great oil for this. This helps anchor the vision. And ginger is courage and confidence. Capricorn is I achieve, so they could use support on emotional warmth and support to rest. Vetiver is a great oil for this to help with deep grounding. Cedarwood strengthens and steadies. And then we have Aquarius, which is I innovate. They could use support on staying present and emotionally open. Oils that are great for this would be eucalyptus. They clear the mind and support the breath. And blue tansy is visionary and calming. And then last but certainly not least, we have Pisces, which is I dream. And they could use support on emotional boundaries and clarity and sensitivity. Oils for this would be frankincense, which is spiritual connection, sandalwood, which is calming and grounding. So you may notice that there was a few overlaps, some of the oils. And again, they're so versatile. There's so many oils you can use for many of the different characteristics or needs with each sign. This is just to give you an idea of what you can use. So let's talk about putting it all together. I know, Mari, you kind of mentioned this before. Oils are the bridge between the stars, our astrology, and ourselves. Knowing our chart really helps us use those essential oils intentionally. We did a fun class back when I first met Mari, where we made essential oil roller blends using our sun, our moon, and our rising sign, which was a lot of fun. I'm a little biased, but I thought it was fun.
It was very fun. And y'all, I am wearing it right now. My niched roller scent blend. I am wearing it right now and it smells delicious. And it is, yes, very supportive of my sun, my moon, and my rising, which depending on, this was a question I actually had for you, depending on what type of support you need in what area of your life. If you know your chart well, it doesn't have to just be your sun sign. Like we keep talking about, you're so much more than just your sun sign. So if you're needing emotional support, look for your moon sign. If you're needing support, rising sign is your first impression. Maybe you're going to go and meet a bunch of new people. You're going to a party or something. You're a little nervous about it. Maybe you need support for your rising sign to feel safe when entering a space, that type of thing. So yeah, and that is how Jody and I met, was through that class, and we hit it off on all things astrology. And I love learning from her about essential oils because that is an area that I didn't know much about.
Yeah, it can be so much fun. And you can even use essential oils for supporting you through transits, which we haven't talked a whole lot about, but that'll be coming up too. Stay tuned. We'll have lots more.
I love that idea. Never even thought about that.
You know, you can help prepare yourself for what's coming up. Like, okay, if this is going to be, this transit is crossing my natal moon, then I know that support would be beneficial. So working on what that might look like, finding what essential oils are going to support you emotionally. Like Mari had mentioned, you know, if it's an emotional support, look more to your moon and you can keep digging deeper and decoding from there. Just a example here, if you have a sun in Leo, you could try wild orange and frankincense, and that's for that bold self-expression. If your moon is in Pisces, you could use lavender or sandalwood for emotional support and spiritual peace. And if your rising sign is Virgo, try tea tree and bergamot to feel clear, clean, and calm. And if we rewind back to our talk about the big three blend that we made at the event that Mari and I met at, what I would suggest is just, you don't necessarily need to take all 6 of these oils, but you definitely could, and blend them together. For a Leo sun, take the wild orange. A Pisces moon, take the lavender. And then for your Virgo rising, I would choose bergamot and mix those together. A suggestion would be 5 drops of each in 10 ml roller with fractionated coconut oil. And that would be your big 3 blend. And you can apply it to your wrists, your neck, your feet, your chest. Just get it on your body and it's going to help support you.
Lavender and citrus. Like every time you start describing these, I can almost smell them, even though they're not here. That would be delicious.
As I was preparing this, I was thinking, should I get the oils? I'm like, I don't really need them right here, but I could be showing you.
Yeah, I'll have my own demo here.
Yes. Okay, so if you've stuck with us through this episode and you're wondering what to do next, or if you have oils at home, I would really encourage you to just experiment. And if you have your chart, take a look at it If you don't have your chart, you could always reach out to one of us. If you want to learn more about essential oils and astrology, you can visit my website at earthandskyeessentials.com. And there will also be a link in the notes of this podcast that will bring you to a handout that tells you each of the oils I talked about that are good for each of the zodiac signs and the elements in the moon phases.
This was so fun. This makes me want to go and dig through my essential oils and start playing around with different blends and I'm definitely going to bring in the moon phases, support in that way. And yeah, I'm actually going to look at transits too, some of my upcoming transits, and see if I can't start supporting myself through essential oils. Absolutely. Reach out to Jody if any of you have questions. She is a wealth of knowledge. Like she said, she's been doing this for over a decade. She definitely knows what she's talking about when it comes to essential oils and astrology. So reach out to her if you have any questions at all and dive into your essential oils, friends.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us under the stars today. We hope you're leaving feeling inspired, grounded, and more connected to your inner truth.
And if you loved this episode, we would be so grateful if you would subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone you love.
If you're ready to explore your soul's path through psychological, evolutionary astrology, and personal astrological coaching, you can find Mari at yoursoulpurposeastrology.com or follow her on Instagram and Facebook at Your Soul Purpose Astrology.
And if you're ready to illuminate your birth chart and explore how essential oils can support your emotional and energetic alignment, you can find Jody at earthandskyeessentials.com or at Earth and Sky Essentials on Facebook and Instagram.
And remember, your soul is always guiding you.
The magic starts within.
away.